Yeah, so today I'm going to talk about data to digital twins, really focusing on how we can better sort of work with digital twins and capture data through the process. So digital twins mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but they are quite cool. They're quite visual, they're quite flashy. So what you can see here is a model with all the associated data captured in it. We're able then to overlay imagery, we're able to overlay assets, we're able to overlay live data onto that model. Digital twins can bring a huge amount of value to all building owners. That data then can be shown in many different ways. That's this sort of video is sort of alluding to. So what I wanted to talk about is actually the more boring side of digital twins. And I did want to call the presentation Making Digital Twins More Boring with Richard Brayshaw, but that was pushed back by our marketing team. The reason for that is that the data underpinning digital twins is of huge importance. It's much more important than the actual technology we're looking at in order to deliver the digital twins. If you have data underpinning the digital twin, you can then use it to meet many different business outcomes. So, you know, harnessing that data through technology allows strategic decision making, and that's really what's important to clients. Clients shouldn't be going out there trying to create a digital twin for the sake of it. Should be going out there to create a digital twin in order to enable strategic decision making. So, rolling back from that a little bit, what is a digital twin? A digital twin is defined in many different ways by many different people. So, but sort of a common consensus really is that it is a physical asset that has a digital replication, and that changes made in one are able to be reflected in the other in real time. So, why is that important? Well, in my view, that clear definition is not important, if I'm honest with you. I think people need to be moving towards thinking about digital twins in a different way. If you create a digital shadow, a pre-construction digital twin, even just a digital model, that's fantastic. If you're trying to achieve certain business outcomes and you don't quite stick to the definition of digital twin, who cares? You're able to use and harness technology and data to drive benefits from business outcomes. If we look at the digital twin ecosystem, what is a digital twin solution? You know, this presentation is really meant to provoke thought around what is a digital twin and how can it help my business. It's not necessarily to deliver a solution. In my view, there are no set digital twin solutions. Quite a lot of people think of a digital twin solution, they think of that front end, that ability to visualize data on top of a 2D or a 3D model, the ability to create dashboards. But I would challenge that and I'd say, well, isn't Revit a part of a digital twin solution? Isn't ACC part of a digital twin solution? It's all creating capturing data through the ACO process, through design, through construction and into the operate stage, and enabling the creation and the modeling of this data within technology. So if we look at data management, what's key here? So, you know, BIM management is a thing that's been banded around for quite a while. It's got a good reputation in certain use cases and a bad reputation in others. I would prefer to talk more about ACO data management because I think it encapsulates what we're trying to achieve here. We're trying to capture data through design, through the architecture engineering aspects, through the construction process, and then into operations. So that for me reflects a better term in terms of this gathering data through the process. What we want to do is give people the data so they're able to create solutions, create those strategic deliver against those strategic outcomes. As I said, you've got some Flash front-end IoT sensor plugins that allow you to do one thing. They allow you to report on space utilization in a particular office. It's very difficult to scale those if you're just walking around sticking sensors in, then capturing the data as you go and feeding that single solution. If you create a proper BIM model, if you do proper ACO data management throughout the design, construction and build process, you are able then to just bolt on IoT sensors, bolt on sort of 3D visualization tools and display that data for a number of different use cases. So you can look at things like asset management, repair versus replace strategies. You can just look at the square footage of your building, occupancy, CO2 emissions, occupant happiness. You know, there's unlimited amount of things you can track if you get that data captured in the right fashion from start to finish. So I kind of summarize that up, but what we would start with is the outcomes. So what is key is to establish key business outcomes. What are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to build and run more sustainable buildings? Are you looking to make your repair versus replace strategy around assets more efficient? Are you looking to control estate costs across a worldwide portfolio of buildings? What are you trying to achieve? Then we can work backwards from that, look at the data you need to capture, what kind of data inputs you may need. So you might need a building maintenance system, you might need some IoT sensors, you might just need an ACC platform to capture all the asset data through the design and construction process. And then we can build up that tech platform from there, or you should look to build up that tech platform from there in order to deliver those outcomes. What can we create? We can create a singular view of estate. So if I'm an estate manager, what I want to understand is what's in the design phase, what's in the construction phase, and what's in the operations phase. A lot of the digital twin thinking I've seen is around, you know, building up a digital twin for a new building. But a lot of our customers have got big NHS, big university, big pharmaceutical estates, and not all of their solutions are in 2D even, let alone 3D. So what you need to do is kind of wind back and try and understand where you want to get to and how you want to control, again, the data through the process to give this single view of estate performance. If I dive into one of these aspects, it's very much aligned with the Symetri strategy around sustainability, and a huge amount of our clients are really focused on this as we move towards 2030, 2050 targets with regards to reduction in emissions and just better building practices. The best way to reduce estate emissions is to get rid of a chunk of your estate. And a great way to do that is understand the utilization of your estate currently. You know, pre-COVID and post-COVID, the estate utilization has changed significantly, but without tracking space utilization, without looking at things like sort of performance of buildings, it's very difficult to know which bit of your estate to get rid of or whether you can. Understanding how that estate is performing, again, is key. So, you know, do you leave the heating on from 5 o'clock in the morning till 12 o'clock at night because there might be somebody in the building? Again, by tracking, monitoring, managing your heating systems, your space utilization, you can begin to combine that data to create a better strategy, get rid of some of your estate, reduce energy wastage, and really sort of right-size your estate for your needs today. I think more and more as we move to a circular economy as well and the repurposing of buildings, digital twins allow us to track information around assets within the building. When I talk about assets, I mean, you know, all the elements of the building as much as those sort of repair, replace type assets. And then we can also look at best fit materials. So, you know, I think we'll come on to it later. We've got a Navigate Zero product, which allows you to look at the most carbon efficient materials to put in your building. And again, that's through the BIM process, that's through smart design, that's through capturing data and looking at which materials actually perform best, not due to perform best based on their specifications. More and more, there's also a focus on BREEAM. So if you have a high BREEAM status, you are going to get green grants, you're going to get loans, you're going to get tax savings. So not only is there environmental benefit, there is financial benefit alongside the costs, the reduced estate running costs. So in terms of what Symetri do in this space, we've got a number of products. to support the end-to-end capture of data, the end-to-end, the compilation of data to support a digital twin. So we've got a product called BIMify, and this serves that 80% of the estate which isn't currently in 3D. You're wondering, how do I create an estate digital twin? You need to move from scribbles on the back of a fag packet to 2D, 3D models, and then you need to overlay asset information on there. So BIMify will allow you to get your estate into a 3D format very simply. You can then overlay asset survey information and you've got a digital twin quite easily. The Autodesk Construction Cloud captures data through the design and construction process, enabling and informing what you've put in the building, when, specifications of your assets, all that kind of information, which you can then feed into a facilities management solution. We use QFM and Faciliate in our Nordics business. This product allows you to capture data during the operations phase, but it also allows us to move all that design and construction data into an operations system. So often I see people resurveying estates, doing asset surveys after they've gone through a 3D design process where all this data should be captured. And then beyond that, you've got the In-Use, which is another company within our group who provide sensors and allow you to capture more asset data, rich asset data about space occupancy, about carbon emissions, whatever you might need to capture around heating, and then feed that into the operations engine in terms of QFM, the facilities management and digital twin management solution. And from there we can pump out that gold, so we can create that estate management dashboard, allowing you to look at the performance of your estate in the operations phase, but through design and construction as well. But as I just mentioned, these all operate within a much wider ecosystem of technology, and what is a digital twin solution and what is not is becoming harder and harder to distinguish. For me, it's anything that captures and contributes data and the management of data in the AECO process. So we've got a number of the design tools, a number of competitive platforms, all of which can be swapped in and out to give you your sort of digital twin platform of choice. I think it's important that we understand all our customers have solutions in place already, and looking at how we combine them and create a workflow without necessarily disrupting and replacing everything is really important. So from there, I'd just like to sort of open up a quick video just to showcase how we approach this sort of consultancy from a Symetri point of view. We've been working in partnership with ICE, the Institute of Civil Engineers, Institution of Civil Engineers, to support the building of digital twins, to support education around digital twins, and Darren will talk briefly about that.
We're a consultancy-led technology business, and through education programs, strategy development, technology implementation and training, and encouraging good working practices and continuous development, we assist government agencies through to new startups, all supported by subject matter experts.
We work with organisations in order to help them create their own digital twins. So the first thing that we would do is challenge the organisation to explain why they need a digital twin and what benefits they're trying to drive from the solution. The most challenging bit about digital twins is it's not really the scarcity of data, it's the abundance of data, and filtering that data and making sure it's relevant to the organisations we're supporting and providing it to them and surfacing them in a way where they can make strategic decisions based on that data.